Buongiorno. It's a new year, and welcome to the Grapefully Yours Wine podcast. Today, we're going to take a little trip to France, southern France, Bordeaux, and talk about some good wines that you might consider for 2024. Today, I want to welcome my co-host, Mike Pigeon.
Happy New Year to all.
Yeah, and how was your holidays, Mike?
Oh, very, very good. We had a very good couple over to share the New Year's meal with, and things went well.
Yeah, the wine goddess had a real nice time.
Beautiful, yep.
Yeah,
We all did.
and the wines were great. We talked about that Chandon champagne in our last show before the New Year, and it was exquisite. It was just bubbly and great. The red wine that you poured was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a good. The meal was great. You
Went
did
well.
a great job. You did a great job, and everything was happy. So now we're going to settle down.
Yeah.
Now we're going to settle down in the new year.
Back to the learning process of what's available for good wines.
Did you make any resolutions at all for the new year at all?
I gave up on resolutions.
Hey,
Last year, my resolution to you on the year was I'm going to open my wallet a little more and buy more expensive wines. But, it came to the point where I just went to your house for the expensive wines and still bought my same stuff. So what could you do?
Well, I just made one resolution to be a better person in 2024
How could
than I
that
was
be?
in
How could that
2023. And that's what I said, Now, my wife claims that I have a long way to go, to exceed all expectations, but we'll see. We'll see. But
Give
at
it a
least it's
shot.
something to point to. So today, like I said, we're going to go to France and Bordeaux, which is one of the most famous wine regions in the world, produces some of the highest quality wines and also at the most unbelievable, incredible prices. But you can also find really great values. I mean, there's over 9,000 cru wines, designated wines in the Bordeaux region, from tip to stern. And wine selling for under $30 a bottle that are really great. I mean, the Wine Connection has a great selection. Sam Messina usually gives us a good tips on when he brings in some nice wines and stuff. And you had a couple over the holiday.
They were good. I usually stay in the St. Emilion, Pomerol area.
Yep.
I've never
That's
really...
right bank.
Yeah.
That's right bank. Yeah. So today we're going to look at two left bank wines, and they're from the Graves region, which is actually south of the city of Bordeaux. So if you could split the left bank in half, the southern tier is what we're looking at. The northern tier is Margaux, Saint Julien, the Julien, the Medoc. Okay, and then below you've got Graves and the sub-appellation Pissac Léonien. I hope I pronounced that right.
We'll let you go.
That's why I failed my wine exam the first time, my certification. I didn't understand the French language. But anyway, we recovered. But tell us a little about what you learned about the Graves region in Bordeaux.
As I remember it, I read that the Graves got its name from the type of stone that's in the flat land there, and they're big stones, or they call them small shingles, and it reminded them of a graveyard with the stone. So henceforth came the word Graves.
Yes. You are very, very right. So you are already improved the show and everything.
That's all I know
research, But yes, the soil is very, very gravelly. Yeah. It's so much stones that the only thing you can grow in Graves, they claim, are trees and vineyards. Okay, yeah. Which vineyards, the vines need, that poor soil, and it's good for this. And of course, the gravel is filled with also mineral sediment, because at that section of of Bordeaux where Graves comes down, it's right along the Garonne River. There's the Gironde River, the big estuary, and then it branches off to the Dordogne, which goes to the right bank, and then the left bank is the Garonne.
Stays that way down.
So a lot of this land was a one-time seabed, under the ocean, and that's why you look at these two wineries, the Chateau Carbonneau. It's got well, I took it off the ribbon, but it's a famous seashell icon that goes at the top, because in their vineyards, their soils, they find little fossilized, seashells, that have stayed there in the sediment, and also now closphoridine, okay, which is in Graves, they have a schooner that is on their ribbon label. I don't know if you can see that. And the history is, the original families, they were traders and seagoing people and stuff. So we're gonna try both these wines and taste them. It's interesting that in the Bordeaux appellation, the white wines, the two primary grapes for whites are
Semillon and no, Grenache is the red. Semillon and Chardonnay.
No, you said it before. You had it before. We're walking at this. Your Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon.
Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc.
I try to put that one out of my mind. I've never been a favorite.
Yeah. There's very little Chardonnay, and because of the Chardonnay, there is Chardonnay that's grown in Bordeaux, but it's not a primary grape. Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc grown in the Bordeaux, and especially the Graves region. Further south, you go into Sauternes, the sweet dessert wine that is famous. They make it from both Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc. So this is what thrives in this area. Now, the other issue with Bordeaux, the wines are tremendous, but it's been really difficult the last few years. Bordeaux is right on the western coast, the Atlantic, so it's always vulnerable to variable weather, hail, storms, frosts that can kill the buds early in the season. So those vintners are always battling the elements. It's interesting. When I went to Bordeaux, I saw these big cannons in the vineyards, and I said, "Oh my God, we're going to have another French Revolution or something." No, they're water cannons. Because what they do,
and so that it doesn't freeze, they'll squirt all that water on them, freeze, and it stays at temperature.
They shoot them off into the sky, and it lands over so it covers, it protects the vines and stuff. Really interesting. So let's pour the Cabernet, and I'll tell a little story, because this has an American connection. Now, I know Mike doesn't like white wines. He doesn't. Well, not that he doesn't like
white. Sauvignon Blanc and Rieslings. I'm not. That's right, my bottom.
But these are dry whites with character. A lot of character. The French, and just smell it, huh? Yeah. Oh, you don't like the acidity?
No, it's really there.
Oh,
yeah, it's really strong.
Grapefruit. Can you smell that grapefruit?
Yes, like pure grapefruit almost.
Yes,
just too much. You like to pick up a little notice of it, but not full strength.
Okay, before we taste it, swirl it. I mean, it does have an unbelievable aroma. It does. Okay, and the color.
Grapefruit juice. No, it's nice. It's a beautiful looking wine, and some people love Sauvignon Blancs.
The Cabernots originally started this. It went back to the almost the 13th century when the original Cabernots started this, and they maintained a winery and a farming business until the hard times came. France went through a lot of wars and fungal diseases. I mean, well, the Benedictine monks eventually took over the land to save it, and they, the Benedictine monks, they were one of the original pioneers of winemaking in France. I mean, they studied, they kept the logs and everything. Well, they revived the vineyards and everything and kept it going for a couple of, almost a century. And then, in the 1900s, it got changed hands a few times, went through the war again, down ebb. But then in 1957, the Perrin family, which is very, very famous, Okay, and matter of fact, the Perrin family is the one that's involved with Chateau Miraval, which is Brad Pitt's chateau, where they make the rosé now, and they're expanding. I mean, they're very, very good winemakers. So now 4 generations of the Perrin family have been working this Chateau Carbonneau, and it is a beautiful estate with a very, very big courtyard. Okay, and you can go there, and it's a destination place. They've got a bed and breakfast there. Carbon. It's just beautiful. It's on the top of a gravelly hill. Okay, well, the soils are gravelly. The hilltop is green and verdant. You look down on the vineyards, and it's a beautiful spot. And the winemaking has become exceptional. The Perrins are involved in promoting Bordeaux wines from the Pessac Leonian sub-appellation, which is part of Graves, okay? And so they're doing an outstanding job. And the amazing thing is, they've got this Grand Cru classification, all right? And it means a lot in the French system because it's based on quality control and so this is classified as a Grand Cru Class A, okay? Now going back to Thomas Jefferson, he visited the Carbonneau winery in 1787, before he became the 3rd president of the United States. He was so taken by these wines, he sent cases back to America, which eventually led to his financial distress at Montpellier, where he was building his estate and stuff. But he for his gift to the French, he planted a walnut and pecan tree right in the center courtyard. That pecan tree is now 2 centuries old, still thriving in the soils of that soil. So that's my story for today. But if you go to Chateau Carbonneau, you can see that pecan tree, and it's still delivering fruit. Isn't that something?
Wonderful?
2 centuries.
That's a good story.
All right, let's taste the wine.
It surprised me. I kind of like it. But I don't think I could have 2 with the acidity, it's on your stomach. I don't know when it gets there, but it's not too bad.
It's a balanced acidity.
It's not too bad. It's not.
It's only, what is it, 13% alcohol?
Yeah, 13. It surprised me.
So it's 65% Sauvignon and 35% Semillon. Now that Semillon, okay, the Sauvignon Blanc is more acidic than Semillon. The Semillon, that's why it creates such great dessert wines, because even though it has slight acidity, it's more of a textural.
It balances it a little, like a Merlot with a Cabernet. Yes. Just balances it. Yeah, that's surprisingly
and chilled.
Good.
Oh man, I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
I think with mussels. See, this is a raw bar wine. Nice.
Yes.
Seafood,
shellfish, anything.
Shellfish.
Yeah.
And even chicken salads, everything. But I think for the Sauvignon, because I get I'm concerned of the acidic intake too. But,
well, after putting my nose in there, I didn't think I was going to like the taste. It was just, but it's very nice for Sauvignon Blanc, which I'm not crazy about.
It's got a lot of flavor.
Yeah, it's surprising.
And grapefruit, and but I like that that finish that's got a little minerality in it,
And that's a $17 bottle in around the.
No, okay. So the suggested retail price, it's under $30.
Oh well, that's a good one. So,
but
yeah,
like I said, I saw it online at some
local place,
some places. Well, the major online retailers, without mentioning any. I saw it on sale for 25 $25 and up. So you look for the values, but it's a 2021, very fresh.
Yeah, very
fresh and
it's
vibrant.
good. Yeah.
I bet you Sean Harmon would like this.
Probably
at his place, So it's very, very good. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna.
I drank mine. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty. I think it's pretty good. I was gonna give you that bottle to take home, but I don't know if I'm gonna. Just have a little cleanse your palate. We're gonna cleanse our palate. Have a little water, right?
You'd have to hate that wine to give it to me to take home.
Unbelievable! I tell you, I try to. I try to help this guy out. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the red. And what are the Bordeaux varietals that we talk about when we think of Bordeaux?
Cabernet Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon,
Well,
Merlot.
yeah, Cabernet Franc is more the right bank, but yes, it shows up in
Do
left
they
bank.
use Grenache over there at all?
No, that's the Rhone.
The
That's
Rhone, okay.
So you Cabernet Sauvignon,
Yeah, yeah. Cabernet Franc
yeah,
and
Not-
Merlot. No?
no, and Petit Verdot.
Petit Verdot, yeah.
Yes,
I can
yes.
that.
But Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot are the main blending partners for Bordeaux reds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like that
So
is- yeah.
this Clos Floridine, I hope I pronounce it right, from Graves. This is the 2016. It says right on the bottle, 73% Cabernet Sauvignon, 27% Merlot. Now, as I mentioned before, Bordeaux's had some really tough battles with the weather lately, and the 2016 vintage was one of them. It was very rainy during the spring, but they had a chilling frost in early April. Some wineries did not survive. They lost a lot of their vines, but a lot of it survived once again through those efforts. They used big nets, the cannons, and stuff. And Clos Floridine was one of them. And Clos Floridine is a small estate. It was originally started in 1792 by the Denis du Bordeaux family. And Floridine is the name of the maiden name for his wife. Okay,
Florentine.
so it survived all these years. And the amazing thing about this is the Du Bordeaux family still runs this winery. It's now into 7 generations. It's been son, son, and now it's the son and daughters. France was one of the last countries to let the women get really involved, even though the women have been really innovative in some of their things. And that was the history of the country where their hereditary laws. Okay, up until the 20th century, even, they had to pass it on to the son, like the United Kingdom or something. I think all those laws have changed now.
Well, at that time, there probably wasn't other ways to make some money at that time. So they almost had to stay into the business generation after generation to keep money coming in.
And originally it was only 4 acres, the vineyard.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, through all these years, these generations of Du Bordeaux family, and I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but they've acquired parcels surrounding all around and made investments with them.
Yeah.
So now they own about 100 hectares and 6 estates in Graves. And if you go on their website and look at the map, they're like a little semicircle all around the Garonne River there. But Clos Floridine is the furthest off the ocean, the river, and the soils are very gravelly, again, and they pride themselves on their quality with the Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot and their minerality in their soils. And both these wineries have obtained the highest classification certified for sustainable farming and biodynamic farming. So they don't use a whole lot of, they don't use any chemicals or preservatives in their wines.
Organic,
Okay? You'll see sulfites, yes, in these wines because they have to ship them across country. But as far as using other fertilizers and anything else in the vineyard, they don't do them. So let's try this. Now this is the 2016.
Oh, that's a dark one, huh?
Yeah. Got a pretty good rating originally when it came out in 2016.
Cherry.
Yeah, Wine Spectator and Wine Enthusiast gave it 90 to 92 points. And what do you?
Cherry?
Yeah, what do you think of the nose on it?
Yeah. Fruity almost. Cherry.
Yeah,
Cherry.
very nice,
Yeah.
And the color is
Very
still
deep.
bright.
It's
and,
deep,
and,
though.
Yeah, bright and a real dark, purple. Usually, we're at the 8-year mark for this wine. It might start bricking, which turns brown around the edges, which is just a sign of age for wines. But this is still crimson purple. I mean, it's so dark you can't even see your fingers through the bottom of the glass.
That's a 2016. Is that getting up there in age for a wine that should be drank young? Like, it's not like you need 10 years aging before you drink it, or 6
I
years.
think this is coming into its prime.
Right now, yeah.
Just tasting it right now. I think it's. I mean, this bottle will probably age for another 5-10 years. Well, but I think now is the time to drink it. It's got it's got those fresh fruit tastes in them and stuff, and.
Nice wine. I don't know how to describe it really, but it's fine.
It's got a nice. Well, what I like about Bordeaux wines, not only is the fruit got character to it, meaning it's got these little layers. Yes, you get those those cherry nuances, but you get the plum, you get the little the blueberry, that Merlot, just a tinge of that those blue fruits, but the tannins are like polished, they're not harsh. It's smooth.
I always have red wine with food, and I just had breakfast a while ago, but you start sipping that, and your brain starts telling you, bring out the meats or the pizzas or something.
It's got a nice dry finish.
Very dry, not very dry, dry finish. Yes,
and it's
it rests nice in the back of your palate.
You want to. You really want to it penetrates. You want to smack your lips. So it's got a nice. It's just for a small vineyard. Now, once again, this Floridine, yet about 3 decades ago, it started acquiring this land to build up to what it is today, and also redoing all the grounds. So right now, they also have a bed and breakfast on the grounds. And if you go on the website, I mean, it's they've done a lot of restoration work, put in a lot of money to this. And they've built their annual production to 600,000 bottles a year, red and white. And they're known for their cru, though, their Cru Rouge, which this is. And it's the Grand Vin, the Graves. So it's a very nice bottle and something to try. I mean, I think the 19 also got was it the 20 that got good ratings. You can go online and check it, but the 16 scored pretty well.
That's a good sized winery for the Graves region, isn't it? 600,000 boy. That's a lot of bottles for what I'd say would be a small one of the many that dot the area over there.
And going back to Chateau Cabernet, we're talking about classifications. So there are 9,000 cru designated wines, and let me get this right. No, there were 9,000 cru. How's it say? Crus in Bordeaux. Cru classified wines in Bordeaux. All right, but only 6 Chateau of the 9,000 crus has a classification for both red and white wines, and Chateau Cabernet is one of them. I mean, that's unbelievable. 6 out of the 9,000 designations, and Chateau Cabernet is one of those legendary houses that has that Grand Cru classification. It says it right here on the bottle for both red and white wines. So that is a quality house, just like Floridian. But both these wines, when you buy them, you can buy them secure, knowing that, hey, you're getting your money's worth. And if you can get these wines for $30 or less, I mean, they're great to put on the table. Closing thoughts, Mike, from Bordeaux?
Well, another good way to start off 2024 like we do every year.
Yeah. I know people are planning their trips, and one of the greatest trips that I ever took in my life was to Bordeaux. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. We took the Viking wine river cruise on the small ship, 170 passengers. And I tell you, you read so much about Bordeaux, and you don't really realize until you get there how beautiful it is, and the vineyards, and the respect they have for the land. I mean, all these little houses where the people in the communities live. I mean, they're tied to the wine business. They either work in the wineries, they work in the hospitality, the restaurants, and they take such pride in everything they do.
So where will your trip be this year? To that region, or the Mediterranean, or
the wine goddess wants to go visit Teddy's paisans, the ancestors in Greece.
That'd be
so she
great.
wants to do the Greek Isles,
yeah.
the Dalmatian coast, the Croatia, Dubrovnik, all the way up, but we want to. We'll start the trip in Sicily, because I said I want to go to Sicily, so we'll stay a couple of days in Sicily before we. We don't know if we're going to take the Viking cruise or another one, but it'll be almost a 15-day trip.
Wonderful.
So that's what we're thinking of.
Good. So,
but a lot hinges on me also, lowering my handicap, my golf handicap.
we'll see how that goes.
But yeah, so start off the year. Take a look for these wines, and I think you'll really enjoy them. Like Mike said, drink them with food, okay, and you really enjoy them because they're wines built for food.
And if you like a Sauvignon Blanc, I definitely try that one, because I'm not a fan of that, but that was enjoyable.
Yes, it's a nice blend.
Yeah,
It's a
nice blend. That's a secret.
So until we see you next time. May the wine be with you.
And us.